Being a marketer's no sweat. You just have to manage dozens of channels, launch hundreds of campaigns, score thousands of leads, and okay, fine, it's a lot of sweat. Unless you have HubSpot's AI-powered marketing tools to help you do all that and more. Get started at HubSpot.com/marketers.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Once again, you have reached PayDirt. I am your host, Brandon Harriet, a.k.a. B-Dirt, with your host, Pay Saunders. What's good, Pay?
What's happening, my boy? How'd we do last week?
Boy, the proverbial kissed your sister. 3-3, still holding on to a 57.5% winning percentage for the year at 23-17. So, not too shabby, not too shabby. We had a couple close losses, and then I had one that wasn't so close. So we'll let that one go. We'll let that one slide. We'll let that one slide. Our good picks went well, though. Like what we would have put multiple units on. So I had a pretty good weekend myself.
Yeah, I didn't lose any money personally, but I had to fight my way back, man. You know that in-game betting. That's becoming my savior for right now. As soon as I see the favorite start trailing, hit it. It saved me a couple of times.
Yeah, I in-game bet Colorado for whatever reason this past Saturday. Mm-hmm. It worked out. So we'll let it ride. But yeah, listen. If the bad weeks are 3-3. I can live with it all day long.
Me too.
We're just trying not. I'd like to get back on that 4-2, 5-1, So let's see what we got this week. There's a lot of good games on the slate. We got good pro games, good college games, but I think you wanted to start. Got a little baseball. You wanted to start with, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's Game 5 of the World Series is tonight. The Yankees, they have officially entered the chat. They've got Garrett Cole back on the bump today. If you remember Game 1.
We liked him in Game 1. We liked him in Game 1. He did his dirty.
It wasn't him. It wasn't him.
You're correct.
It was a pitcher's duel up until the last few innings, and we got some magic happened. And that was my birthday.
Got into that bullpen, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to hit it again. This time, I got Garrett Cole to take the Yankees into the 7th inning and lead them back to LA for Game 6.
So, this is a do-or-die situation. Game 1, they left him in there for a grand total of about 85 pitches. Mm-hmm. I think we see him hit that 100 line, which I think puts him probably – through the 7th, maybe even get into the 8th. So I'm with you here. I do also like the Yankees again. Hey, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. I don't know. I don't know the bad quote that George W. Bush. Yeah, I really want to go that way, but I'm too smart to say it like that, regardless of how bad I want to.
Fool me.
You can't fool me again.
Yeah, you can't fool me again. That's how it is. That old folksy charm from W.
Oh, Tim Lyon says, where is Pay this week? Your fans want to know.
Well, I'm back on. I took off last week.
You were here last Wednesday.
I was here.
Just the homies on Friday, that's all.
No, that's all right. I'm sure you all held it down.
We did. They let me and G alone there for the second half of overtime by ourselves. A little dangerous. Lucky that second half of the show with just me and him unsupervised wasn't about 3 hours long.
Gotta watch it. Gotta watch yourself.
All right, so we got the Yanks. You got anything else you want to talk about outside of college or pro football?
This is a personal one. This is a little sneaky, If I go to the batter props of the World Series game tonight, I do want to check out Shohei Ohtani's total bases and his hits. His over/under on hits right now is a half. I kind of can see Shohei going under that half. He can go hitless. If anybody's been paying attention, he did hurt himself again. He's miraculously never missing time for being seriously hurt. I don't know how, but he's
separated shoulder, correct?
Separated shoulder. If you've ever separated your shoulder, I have. It is not fun. It is not something you can continue to power through. He's doing it somehow. I don't know if there's some type of magic elixir that he's getting shot up in him that has allowed him to play. Yeah, reckless speculation. I'm not saying he is. I'm just putting it out there. Maybe, with the maybes. But it's going to be hard for him to, swing that bat and be very effective while he's nursing this shoulder inflammation. I would take that under. Now, I'm not going to throw it on I'm not going to put that out there officially for us. But for me, I'm going to live dangerously tonight.
So, listen, regardless of whether you've got Japan's finest herbal tea or not, separated shoulder is really hard to play with. It's in his non-throwing arm, his left shoulder, but that's the back portion that drives the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Saw a couple of swings from yesterday where he was letting go of the bat with one hand, chasing pitches. Man, Garrett Cole is really tough with that slider in the dirt and then elevating your eyes with that fastball. That elevated fastball with a separated shoulder, trying to pull that through, that can be rough. Right. I don't mind that. I don't mind that bet. Surprisingly. And listen, it does go to show you there's a reason why when you got a guy that can hit over 300, hit over 50 home runs, there's a reason why not many of them steal 50 bases.
Correct.
Separated shoulder sliding. That's a big boy to be putting a whole bunch of weight down like that.
Mm-hmm.
Going head first on slide. All right. So we are on to football.
Yeah.
So you want to start with the big game of the week right off the bat? We've got Kennesaw State at Western Kentucky. No,
woohoo!
That's not it. Hold on a second. Kennesaw State had their upset for the year.
I know you're not talking about that
Happy Valley, baby.
That Happy Valley. Yeah, the Penn Staters are hosting those Buckeyes. Big game, big noon with a big game, right? Penn State. Oh no, the line has moved. Ohio State.
It was 3.5.
I saw it at 4 earlier the week.
So it's down to 3. Penn State's only getting 3 points. They're at home. Ohio State looked pretty pedestrian, I'll say, against the Nebraska Cornhuskers, which really could have pulled that game off last week.
True. I'll start. So we all know Penn State.
Big game, James, baby.
They always lose these games. The big games against the big dogs of the conference. These are usual walking L's for Penn State, the Nittany Lions. Is this the game that they've turned it around? Not with. Is Drew Allure going to play? I'm hearing it's a toss-up. He's the key. He's the key to this game. If we had to put something on wax right now, I'm staying away from Penn State. I was going to stay away from them anyway, just because I don't trust them. I don't trust their history in big games. I'll tell you this: the winner, they secure their playoff spot this early. I would say it. A top 5 win on your resume in the Big Ten, that goes a long way.
Well, I will also say James Franklin has a really good track record of just of losing any time he plays against a big team or a big rivalry. I do know. I'm looking it up here. I think a couple years ago they had a scare. 38-31, I think it was. Yeah, 2 years ago. So they've had a couple scares where they kept it close. Last year was not close. Seems like they keep it a little closer at State College in Happy Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I like the 3.5 or 4 here. If, like you said, if Drew Aller plays. The reason why I like it, he's a kid from Cincinnati, Ohio, went to Moeller, wanted to play at Ohio State, and ended up at Penn State. So I kind of like that, especially with Ohio State being a little flat.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, just 2 teams I can't really trust. For that reason, I don't see any bite here on the over-under. I don't see any bite on a 3-point spread. I got the avoid card out on this one.
Wow. I'm going to take it. I'm taking Ohio State. I'm going to Ohio State, but you know what? I do feel you on the 3.
I'd go money line if I was going to take it.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm leaning to as well. Because, that without that hook, like I said, it was 4 earlier in the week. I was feeling that. And now you said it was 3.5 earlier today. Now it's just sitting at a field goal.
3.5 literally 3 hours ago.
Yeah. Sitting at a field goal, that's risky business. I'm going to take just straight up win.
All right.
Which isn't bad. I mean, considering the fact that Penn State is the higher ranked team and at home.
Correct. Yeah, you're not giving up too much juice taking on money line there either.
Yeah.
All right. What else do you see out here in the college ranks?
Well, I was looking at this at this Miami Duke game. At some point, Miami's going to lose a game, right? They're 20.5-point faves at home with a total of 54.5 in this game. Duke's not a pushover. At some point, right? It's got to happen, right?
And the Duke game is a little bit of a revenge game here.
Indeed.
Yeah, you got Manny Diaz coaching over at Duke. Man. And listen, Miami's kept it too close with several teams this year, but man, they look pretty good the last couple of weeks. I'm on the fence about that one, man. I love that at 21.5.
On the fence for a 20.5-point fade. That's crazy. I don't believe in Manny Diaz. I'm gonna just call it like it is. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he's fairly good. It's just the lights. The lights are too bright for him in Miami. They wanted too much out of him. Can Miami continue this path of winning? Yes, they can. They can beat the Blue Devils Saturday. I am calling BS on that line, though. I don't. 20.5. They've been playing too close to fire lately. I'm gonna stay away from the line. I'll take them straight up, though.
Well, there's not much juice on that.
No. So
minus 13.50.
Yeah, I can stay away from it all together.
All right, so you have a little bit of history here with Illinois, the state of Illinois, that is. I want to talk to you about this Illinois-Minnesota game. I believe it's a noon game. So we got Illinois is at home. Minnesota's favored by 3. Yep, it's a noon game. So it's one of the early ones. So Michigan beat Minnesota in a close game. Michigan got throttled by Illinois. 21-7 should have been worse. So watching my team play those two teams, seeing Minnesota, I mean, I don't know. The USC thing, flying across the country, playing against Minnesota, we've talked about how these college students aren't accustomed to flying across the country week to week. And some of those have really proven to be tough outs for the team traveling. So I don't put as much onus on that as maybe some other people do. I kind of like Illinois +3 here with that home field advantage. What are your thoughts there? Am I missing something? Are they missing a player that I don't know about? Or
actually, no. Illinois is fairly healthy. I can't explain to you why they're the underdogs at the crib right now. I like that a lot. I had skipped over that one. Like Illinois is a damn good team this year. Some might say they might be top 4 in the conference. I wouldn't go that far. You got Oregon, you got Ohio State, you got Penn State. Obviously, we just talked about them. But after that, I mean, it's a fair argument, right? Yeah, I kind of like Illinois with that +3, man. I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, Bryant, their number one wide receiver now, is probable. So, I mean, I feel like they're set up for pretty good success there.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. What else you see in college you like?
All right, let's go down. We are a week away from the big showdown. Can Alabama save their season? So they're on a bye this week. But what's going on in SEC this week? We have Georgia, number 2 team in the land. They fought their way back into the top of the sport. They're playing Florida State. I'm not Florida State, but Florida, the Gators. A lot of people have the Gators losing. Well, not losing, but maybe winning 2 to 3 games this season, right? To their credit, Florida isn't that bad.
No, they've been playing better recently too.
Mm-hmm.
Now they did lose their quarterback, which
sucks.
Not great, yeah.
But as you see the spread, 16.5, total 52. I kind of it piqued my curiosity. So I expect Georgia to win this game. But I'm feeling itchy. I'm feeling like Florida can get it underneath that 16.5. If this was 18, I'll stay away. 16.5, it's got me feeling away.
Okay, so Georgia gets up for Texas last week, wins that game 30-15. Not really looking great in that second half. Now they're at home against Florida, and they travel to Ole Miss and then finish Tennessee at Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I could see this being a little bit of a trap game.
Yeah.
A little bit of that letdown trap game. And here's another thing. I always look at this, and you know that. If the line's at 16.5 and 98% of the bets placed are on Georgia, and that line doesn't move, I'm going to watch this line probably over the next day or two, but I like it at 16.5. I'm going to try and get it at 17.5 to bet a little bit more. I think this might be a 2 or 3 unit bet for me solo. So I like Florida here as well, because I think you're going to have that natural letdown. I think it's going to be a closer game. And listen, it's got to be a 10 or 14 point game. It still could be a handy win, and you get the cover.
That's all I'm saying, B. Like I feel it feels good. It feels juicy. Yeah, I like the value in that. We could be wrong. Georgia could still be riding high and come out and smoke them and do what they're supposed to do. But I got a feeling, right? I got a feeling that line, Florida, You might want to play this one solo, like you said.
Now, let me ask you about that game right in front of you, that Oregon-Michigan game. Oregon, I think, is the far superior team here, especially offensive side of the ball. Michigan did find a little bit of success in a forward pass last week. That was quite interesting. Didn't know that was going to happen. Loveland, going to be a matchup problem. Will Johnson didn't play last week. I think that's a big part of what I think about this line. But we keep seeing the new, Pac-12, Big Ten merger. Every time one of these teams travels across, it seems like they start slow. You look at USC at Michigan. You look at Penn State at USC. You look at Michigan at Washington. Like all these games, when you start seeing these moving pieces go across the country, it's a little bit tough. I think Ohio State's a better team than Oregon, but Ohio State had to go across the country to play Oregon. I think 15's a lot. I mean, again, 2-touchdown win in Michigan. Oregon wins it handily. Maybe Michigan gets a late touchdown or something. That still covers. Piqued interest in this.
Yeah, I'm like you. I'm watching that one. It's crazy. They keep putting the Nike boys on these planes, on these long plane rides, right? 15 to me.
Nike versus Jordan.
To me, a 13 to 15 line is fair. But you're, like I said, 13 to 15, right? You're backing up on the back end of like, okay, it's getting a little out of hand. I'm gonna watch
13, I would stay away from.
Yeah, I feel that. To me, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it a little more, see what happens with this one. I'm pretty sure Oregon can win this game by 2 scores, though.
Yeah, Afton. College teams are not used to traveling across the country mid-season. Never had to do it really until this year, unless it was an oddity. And normally when they do that, they schedule them earlier in the year. They try to do it before classes in, get out there the week before. That's the reason why you see some of those matchups the first week or two of college sports where they're traveling, Texas coming to Michigan or whatever it might be. And then they normally stay in their geographic area. Now that they've had these super conferences are starting to form, some of that's going away, and these guys that's going to be a lot of figuring out or what they've got going on, because when they do it for bowl games, they fly across the country the week before and they're there for 3, 4, 5 days. So what are they going to do? Are they going to start doing tutors? They're going to start learning, is it going to be online learning and they're going to get there a couple of days earlier? So you get that. I mean, your body rebounds obviously at that age a lot better than any other time in your life, but it's still not optimal. It's not optimal for sleep. It's not optimal for just the human body makes adjustments there. So it's an interesting dynamic we never had before. All right, any more college sports before we take a quick break and go into the NFL?
I am good on the amateur ball. Let's go to the pros.
Oh, man, semi-amateur at best nowadays. All right. Well, we're going to take the quick break before we do so. We will hear from our sponsors. If you're here on our YouTube channels, just hang out with us. If you're not, whatever you're looking or listening to or watching or whatever it is you might be doing out there, hit that like, subscribe, share us, tell a friend to tell a friend about this. Come get your picks. Talk about the picks with your people. Talk about, everybody's got somebody that's doing a little gambling now, right? So find out who amongst your friends is putting down some ducats and start talking about it over PayDirt with them. And we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. All right, welcome back to PayDirt. We have covered those college games, giving you a little bonus on the World Series tonight. And now we are going to get into what I consider our meat and potatoes, man. The NFL slate. NFL still king out here in these streets. Let's get it started, man. You want to talk about the Thursday night game?
Yeah, let's start with Thursday night. We got those.
Or are you going to give me a do we have to?
No. I like Thursday night. I love, if anything else, I love watching the broadcast from Amazon. I don't care about the trash teams, even the trash teams that they keep forcing on me. Jets. I'm just gonna watch it. Now, if this was a London game, Germany game, something I got to wake up early for, you are testing my patience. But in any case, you have the Houston Texans going to see those Jets. Those Jets, they keep forcing on us. They want us to believe they're a good team. I've been telling you all since training camp, they are not. And we ain't got to get into that right now. But for the life of me, who the hell do the Jets think they are to be giving 1.5? They should not be the favorite here.
I mean, the argument for that is Nico Collins is out, Stephon Diggs is out. Who are they going to throw the ball to, right?
No, you're right. They have two dynamic playmakers on offense out for the foreseeable future. But I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it a lot this episode. Quarterbacks drive the line. Wide receivers, running backs, they're interchangeable. All you gotta do is, go where you're supposed to be and don't put the ball on the ground. They're interchangeable. But try to tell the Jets that. Jets think that more wide receivers can fix all ailments. Well, guess what? You're taking another L on Thursday. They're 1.5 point favorites. The total is 42. I've got Houston again as the underdog. They're going to handle their business.
I like that. It seemed too simple for me. I think I've overcomplicated what I was thinking here. I also got into this a little bit. For all the Jets accolades and how good their defense is, defense hasn't been really playing that great of late, especially against the run, which leads me to a little Joe Mixon plus 80. I like him over 80 yards in this for minus 130.
Oh, go back. All right. Since we're over here, any other props that you like from this game?
Man, I wouldn't be afraid of Dalton Schultz either.
Dalton Schultz is a good one.
Somebody's got to catch the ball.
Yeah, and he's no slouch. Dalton Schultz is a pretty good tight end.
40 plus for minus 30.
I kind of like that. I'm going to ride with that one. All right. I think we're in lockstep with the Thursday night football. Let's go to Sunday, if you don't mind. First game up, I have the Denver Broncos going to see Baltimore Ravens. Ravens are 9-point fave, total 45 and a half. How's that sitting, which would be?
So the Ravens lost a game they obviously shouldn't have last week. Like, the Broncos have been playing better than anybody thought at this point in time. But do the Ravens have a bounce back game here? Kind of show their authority. I could see them not taking their foot off the pedal. I don't like it.
Yeah, for me, I expect Baltimore to bounce back. But 9 is a lot for a good defense. I'll take Denver plus 9.
I get it, but man, I could see. Couldn't you see Baltimore come out and win this by 17 just prove a point?
Yeah, I could. You could see that, but I mean, there's reasons why they lost that game to Cleveland. You know, new quarterback, they always tend to do something crazy. You didn't prepare. The defense didn't prepare for them, right? All week, you got dealt a curveball at the last minute. You didn't know how they was going to come out. And I'm speaking about the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Jameis Winston. The defense, Baltimore Ravens defense, they played down. They were missing 2 starters, first round draft pick Wiggins and Marlon Humphrey. They're all pro cornerback, so they're already playing uphill. But they had opportunities to win that game still, and they just couldn't figure it out. The offense wasn't too much better. Lamar was missing passes deep. He had an opportunity to have 2 more touchdowns, and he just couldn't find Bateman or Zay when they needed to. Bateman had a terrible drop right in the middle of the field late in that game. It was a cluster F all around. So that's to that point. I expect Baltimore to come back out and play a more focused game this week around. But do I want to bet that they win by 2 touchdowns against a defense that ain't gonna shuck and jive? They ain't gonna do no BS with them. They gonna play straight up. Lamar at least has to return MVP form, at least, right? For them to be successful. Or I mean, Derrick Henry can go off. Whichever the case, I expect them to win, but I don't know about betting them to win by 2 scores. That's a bit far.
A little steep.
Yeah, it's a little steep. If anything, I would take the money line. I'll take them to win straight up. Because 9 is asking a lot. I feel more confident in saying Denver Broncos keep it closer than 9. But I feel the most confident in saying Baltimore will win the game outright.
And that's a parlay builder too. That's not a lot of juice for that squeeze if you're going to just bet it solo.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Next game is treacherous to me.
Oh, why
Bills?
What makes it treacherous?
I mean, what are you getting out of those? I don't know. I would have leaned Bills here, but these again are 2 teams that I don't really trust.
Well, I'll tell you this. Tua always leads Miami to a fat L against Buffalo.
Yeah.
6 is modest enough for me to take the Bills.
Yeah, that's not on my betting list. But the next group is.
Oh yeah,
the Raiders and the Bengals.
That's the Bengals are your team, aren't they?
They are.
Oh.
And they have been playing like doo-doo brown. But the one thing they have been doing is they've been making modest offenses look really good.
Really?
They can score some points. I expect the Bengals to score some points here. It's at home. You may hear some boo birds. There's some pretty angry fans out there. I like the over 46.5 here.
Really? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I can dig that.
Because here's the other part of this. If the Bengals do get the offense rolling, they need to keep it rolling. They need a confidence builder. So I think they're going to keep throwing that out there.
Yeah, I'm skittish on that 7-point line. 46.5, that total, that's right there in the money. Right.
I'm skittish too because they let every possession of the second half the Eagles scored.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they've just played some really bad defense. So
you said that a lot for the Cincinnati team this year.
Yeah, well, it's pretty factual.
Okay, let's. I'm good on this game. DC and the Giants. So the last time DC saw the New York Giants, history was made. The G-Men became the first team to ever to lose a game in regulation, in which they scored 3 touchdowns and didn't give up a touchdown. Now, my favorite team just played the DC Commanders, and they didn't score a touchdown until the very end of the game. We had to go into that, traumatic. I don't want to talk about it, but I'm starting to question Washington's ability to score consistently, game in and game out. When I say score, I mean touchdowns, right? And this is a crazy thing to say because they do have the number one offense. Some of that is stat padded from when they played bad defenses, the Bengals, undisciplined teams elsewhere in the season. Some of that could be a little smoke and mirrors. So I would not be shocked. And if you look at this line, the Giants are 3.5-point dogs at home. I wouldn't be shocked if the Giants messed around and covered that and won straight up.
You think the Giants win this straight up?
I wouldn't be shocked if they do. I'm not super confident. I'm not super convinced that Washington can cover that 3.5. I mean, they are coming off a very big win, a very emotional win, right? I mean, it's not outside of the realm of possibility to have a little letdown in a division game, no less. It's not crazy. But 3.5 is within that, that error, that margin of error. So you can go either way with this. I feel the most confident about that total, 43.5. I like the over there. That's my pick to click for this game.
You like the over?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I can't do it. The Giants' offense is abysmal. I disagree with you here. I think the Commanders minus 3.5 is a play for me. Daniels with another week to rest the ribs. They bother him a little bit, maybe, but he threw the ball 70 yards on the last play, so I don't think they really bothered him all that much. Another week, those will definitely be feeling better. Brian Robinson is probably the biggest reason why I think they've had some problems in the red zone or stalling out. His running game, I think, is like the difference maker for them because of the yards after contact he gets, physical back.
Mm-hmm.
He's still questionable with a hamstring. I like this for a 1-unit play at minus 3.5. If I get a Brian Robinson back, I might like it for a 2-unit play.
All right. Let's roll. The next game on the docket, the Chargers are going to see those Browns we just talked about. The Chargers are 1.5-point faves on the road, total 43. Listen, I'm staying away from the Browns. I need more info. I need more information on how they're going to play moving forward. They just upgraded their quarterback. I don't got to say too much about that. So, was it just a 1 week emotional boost for them, or is this something sustainable? I need to see more before I need to know the trend. We talk about doing things smart, not being risky with our money. Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from this game.
I'm flirting with the Chargers minus 1.5. And the only reason why is, they say styles makes fights.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chargers defense are going to get a couple turnovers against the Browns. Last week, Kyle Hamilton had the game-ending pick in his hands and dropped it. I think the Chargers will get a couple turnovers here, and I think their Harbaugh will not turn away from that running game no matter what. They may throw it, 30 times a game or 35, but they're going to still run it 20. You know what I mean? They're still going to continue to run the ball. And I like J.K. Dobbins running the ball against this team. So I'm flirting with it. I'm not on it yet, but just for letting everybody know where my thoughts are, flirting with it right now.
All right, I'll leave it off the slip right now. Just a flirt, just a just a little DM. Hey, big head. Nothing too major. We can keep it off.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Chargers are in top 10 in both points allowed and yards allowed right now as a defense.
It wouldn't surprise me. They've been a little under the radar, but they haven't been terrible. All right, you want to move to the next game? We've got a few more from the noon slate. You like anything with this Dallas Cowboys 3-point dogs against the Atlanta Falcons? Total 52.
I do not. I wish that it was a 48 or 49 over, but I'm out on it.
So to me, both defenses, they leave a lot to be desired. As usual, Atlanta always plays close games. That 3-point line doesn't surprise me. It's always, every week the line is 3 in Atlanta Falcons game, right? So I'm going to push away from that because it can go either way. As far as this total, 52, it's a bit high. I agree with you there. But like I said, the defenses for both teams, they're not really playing their best right now. I think Micah Parsons, I don't even know if he's going to come back to play this year, to be honest with you.
He got a red shirt.
He might red shirt. He might red shirt it. He might be making a business decision. Yeah, what? That's reckless speculation. I'm just.
That would never happen, would it?
I'm just saying. So I'm just spitballing. I'm not breaking any news here. Just throwing it out there. But I'm not saying he is or isn't. It's up in the air for me. I'm flirting with that total. 52 is a bit high, but like I said, I kind of think both teams can put up some points this game. If you got Dak on your fantasy team, I'm feeling kind of good with him this week. He's been letting you down all year. I think this, going into this game at least, I think this might be a magical game for him, CD, Ferguson, and the rest of those boys with the star on their helmet. But I'm going to flirt with that total. I'm not going to throw it on the slip just yet. I'm going to think about it a little bit. All right. The poo-poo game of the week. Those Patriots. The 2-win Patriots against the Tennessee Titans. I don't even know how many wins the Titans got. Titans are 3.5-point favorites. The total is a robust 38.
I don't know if you can hear that in the background or not. But my dog started howling as soon as you started talking about this game, man.
Yeah, that's good, boy.
This one's for the dogs. This should be played in London or Germany or something.
Oh no! Do not put this game on where we are forced for it to be the only game on TV. No.
Yeah, but I can do some more of that yard work.
Yeah, we said to do yard work that last time the Patriots played in London. I got to be real. I didn't do any yard work. The game was on. I'm sorry. No. The game was on, but I
did that to yourself.
I had to do some work, but the game was still on. I had it going on, but the corner of my eye was watching a little bit. I had the sound off. At least give me that. I had the sound off.
Yeah, I don't love it.
Basically, what I'm saying is football is addictive. It's very addictive. For me, for this game, I don't have anything from this game. I knew the Patriots are going to cover and possibly beat the Jets because the Jets are not a good team. Patriots aren't a good team either. Titans, they look like they have a little bit of mojo going now that they bench Will Levis and put Mason Rudolph under center. But that has a shelf life as well. Just same thing we said about Jameis Winston. Well, I said about Jameis Winston. You want to start to notice the trend before you jump all in. I'm going to stay away from this game.
Ditto.
All right. Last game from the noon 1:00 slate, though it's an NFC South matchup. Saints going to Carolina. They are a 7.5-point favorite. Derek Carr is supposed to be back. The total's 43.5.
If Derek Carr is back, Carolina has given up 33.9 points per game on average this year.
So you like the over is what you're saying?
Healthy Derek Carr, I kind of like the over, yes.
All right.
Life's too short, but the under.
Yeah, I like the over as well. Because, as you said, Carolina's defense is poo. I don't think it matters who the quarterback is for the other squad. At least not to that. At least not in this respect. It does for the line. But I'm going to stay away from 7.5. I think Bryce is going to start again this week. Not sure. But he didn't look terrible last week. But not enough for me to even consider plus 7.5. I'm going to leave that one alone. I'm going to just take the over with you on this one, 43.5. I like that. It sounds like good money. All right. Late afternoon slate.
Afton did point out the Titans are 1-6.
1-6,
Who knew they'd miss Jeff Fisher, huh?
Yeah, I bet they'll hire him in a heartbeat. Like, can we get some of those
500 seasons?
Yeah, guaranteed 8 wins. Can we take that? Speaking of those Jags, well, not speaking of the Jags, but let's move to the Jags. They are 7.5-point dogs themselves on the road as they go to see the Philadelphia Eagles. Those same Eagles that you said scored on every possession in the second half last week.
Mark it down. Eagles going to score more than 32 weeks in a row. Take the over. Jacksonville's got no defense.
Jacksonville does not have a defense. You are correct. And Trevor Lawrence, he gives the opposing defense opportunity to give their offense a short field. He would do it at least twice a game. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Over 45.
Man, all these overs are making my heart warm. Love it.
The Jags are banged up on all over their team as well. They still got ETN still going to be out. They're going to pound Tank Bixby into the ground. I think Trevor Lawrence is dealing with something. Christian Kirk left the game early last week.
He might be out for the season.
Yeah, he might be done. Yeah, it's not a. This is the type of things that happen to bad teams and the coaches on hot seats. It all falls down, right? One of my favorite Kanye West songs, by the way.
Speaking of two teams that you never know what you're going to get from, your Chicago Bears.
What?
In Arizona against the Cardinals.
Whoa. I know what I'm getting out of my Bears. I'm getting the win out of them. They owe me. They owe me a win. And this, I have more than just money putting on this game. I have pride on this game. I'm taking bets. So the Bears cannot go to Arizona and lose this game. They cannot. They've shown plenty of times in the last 2 seasons they are poorly coached. I think last week was the final straw. Something's got a lot of fire underneath their ass, and they got to come back and and snuff a team. They really got to snuff some team. Like you get arrested. First thing you got to do is make sure everybody respects you. Hit the biggest dude in the face. And unfortunately, Arizona's not the biggest guy. Not the biggest guy in the yard, but you got to hit him anyway. They got to make sure everybody knows they got to respect you. You cannot play your 3. Well, this will be the second game of the season against the NFC West for the Bears. You cannot lose this game to the team that they think is going to come in last place in this division. Absolutely, positively cannot. The Bears are +1. This is basically a pick 'em. I got the Bears.
Man. Yeah, the only thing I know that I agree with there is Kyler Murray is not the largest man in the yard. That is correct. Right now, the Cardinals are in first place in that division. We know it's a mass unit in San Francisco, and that's the reason why. everybody's bunched up in this conference, this division. I don't expect them to stay there. Kyler Murray's a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be a very entertaining game for me to watch. Both of these quarterbacks I have some lightning to them. I'm just not going to bet it.
All right. I'll go it alone. Lone Ranger Pay is my name. I'm taking the +1. Now, the Bears defense, they're top 3 scoring defense? I would stay away from that total, 44.5. It's likely to be right at that 40 mark for this game. I wouldn't chance it.
You know, it's funny. I looked it up after you said something. The number 1 team points per game in the league is the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, they control the ball a lot.
Followed by the Steelers, followed by the Denver Broncos, and then your Chicago Bears, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills.
Some good defenses you ran off there. Some of them just play crappy offenses all season. We ain't gonna talk about who.
Correctamundo.
We ain't gonna talk about who, but some good defenses right off here. All right, the game of the week, the matinee Fox game. Tom Brady on the call. Detroit Lions 3.5-point faves going to Lambeau Field. Play those Packers. Total 48.5.
So Love just tweaked his knee out of nowhere again, walking on the sidelines last week, goes down. Malik Willis is coming in. Do you know who's starting at quarterback for the Green Bay Packers?
I heard he hurt his groin.
It doesn't matter who starts at quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. Detroit versus everybody. Give me -3.5. I'm out.
You're out. Yeah, I've said it a couple of times this episode, man, that nothing affects the line more than a quarterback. His health, his availability, whether or not he's trash or not. Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. So if I want to lay off some wisdom here, just a little bit. #pay wisdom. If Love doesn't play, that line is going to do something a lot. It's going to go aggressively in the other direction, right? Detroit's going to be maybe 9-point, maybe 10-point faves at that point. Ooh. So if you are leaning Detroit, your best value is to jump on it now before the word comes out that Love is not going to play. The reason why he is close that he might not. Their bye week is next week, so you can mess around. And
did not practice. I got it listed as a groin.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, his groin. He hurt his groin. No, did he? He's dealing with a lot of below the belt ailments. He still popped that MCL earlier this season. That's not
groin could be from overcompensating.
Exactly.
Coming back too soon.
Yeah. So it wouldn't shock me if they held him out for one game but get 2 weeks of rest, right? They still do got to play the Detroit Lions one more time this season so they can get their get back. They're not, but they can try. So like I said, if you're leaning the Lions, you might want to lock this in now before that line does something crazy. But Jordan Love has surprised us before with the injury, his injury recovery. He could mess around and play. And then once they say Jordan Love is active, this line is going to go back. This line is going to go down. I would think this line would move closer to 1.5 in the event that they say that he's active, right? So again, if you're leaning Detroit, you might want to wait on that. So you're in a precarious spot right now. I'm just gonna say, B, like you said, Detroit versus everybody. I don't give a damn. Your best bet is do it now while it's still good value out there. Because once the line goes up to 10, like I predicted will do, if Love doesn't play, it's gonna be a lot different.
I like it.
All right, but with all that said, let's just say the line stays as it is. They're about to play the game in a half an hour. Detroit's a 3.5-point favorite. I like Detroit to cover that. I like to see a lot of points on the board. Detroit's offense is high flying. Jameson or no Jameson, they're still putting up numbers. Even the Packers. The Packers have a sneaky good defense. They're a top 5 defense as well. But Jared Goff, he's on another level right now. I think he's over the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks, he's only incomplete. He's thrown 13 incompletions total. Yeah, Detroit, I like him all the way. Give me Detroit to win straight up, obviously, because I got them covering the 3.5, and I like the over in this game.
I'm in.
All right. Anything else? You got anything else from this? You got something from the NFC West, the Rams versus Seahawks, the Sunday night game, Monday night game.
Listen, the Colts are, starting Father Time, so I don't know what to expect there. We've talked ad nauseum about the Chiefs and higher lines. I don't know about that game. That Rams and Seahawks, both these teams need this game really bad. It's going to be really tight. I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah. Yeah, my sentiments are all the same. The Chiefs, I never trust them with a large spread, and Patrick Mahomes continues to regress to the mean. I'm going to stay away from it. Their offense is still too patchwork for me to trust. The Vikings lost 2 games in a row. And as you said, Anthony Richardson, he's an easy bet against because he's probably the worst quarterback in the league. He's been benched because of fatigue and general terribleness. So you got Flacco, and Flacco is magical. So I don't want to get caught holding the bag there. It's no fun when a rabbit got the gun, right? And as you said, the Rams and the Seahawks division battle. It's a 1.5-point spread. Anything can go. It's a toss-up. If anything, I would pay attention to these games and bet them live as you see the trends develop.
I'm good with it. We got 16 on this bet slip. We gotta get down.
Yeah, we got to knock off 10 games. All right, so before we get started, I just want to put that out there. Like, the odds on this bet is plus 939,639.
Jeez Louise.
If you were to just lay $1 on this as is, and it all hit, $9,397 you take home. Easy math.
There's a reason why 16 is real hard to hit.
Very. This is what we call a lottery ticket. Very difficult.
Hold on, man. Yankees. I think we might be leaving a baseball one in for the first time.
Oh, I like it. Let's get freaky. I like it.
Ohio State, Florida. What else we got here? Okay, those are only 2 college. So let's leave one college game in. Which one of those 2 you like best?
I like Ohio State to win straight up. I think that's an easy pick.
All right,
let's get Florida out.
Take Florida out.
All right.
All right, so Texans, Jets. I really like that Mixon line. Let's keep rolling down.
All right. We have a same game parlay with the Texans. Just remember, we have Texans plus 1.5 against the terrible Jets. Joe Mixon, over 80 yards rushing and over 40 yards receiving for Dalton Schultz.
So do you want to remove that whole thing and bet that separately?
You know what? For the sake of the argument, yeah, let's do that. Let's move all of it and just keep that same game parlay off to its own.
And if you want to make it a 4 4-leg parlay on that same game. Take Wilson over 5.5 catches. Go ahead.
All right. So what we got left? We got Baltimore winning straight up. We have the Bills -6. We have the over 46.5 for the Raiders and the Bengals. Over 43.5. Washington Commanders at the Giants. Commanders 3.5 favorites.
All right, you didn't like the command. I didn't like your Commanders bet. You didn't like mine. So why don't you take those two off?
All right. Split the baby, as they say in that old book, Old Testament, I believe. All right, that leaves us with. Let's see. You got the Raiders. Oh, I already said that. Over 46.5 for the Raiders Bengals game. Over 43.5 Saints Panthers. I think that's a lock. Over 45.5 Jags Philly. Lock. Bears +1. Lock. Detroit Lions -3.5, and Detroit Lions over 48.5 in their game with the Packers.
So,
all right,
let's take. I like the other overs. The Lions Packers one. Let's get rid of that one.
Okay.
Weather Green Bay. I don't want to pay attention. I don't want to look it up.
You said the total.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're down to 9.
All right. What was? See, I don't like your Bears pick, but.
All right. I mean, if we can't agree to it, we got to move it off. The Bears are. They got the world looking at them funny. They got to get their respect back, and they're gonna do it.
All right. So we have 3 overs in a row up here. So let's look and see which one's most likely not to hit.
Who's the quarterback for the Raiders again?
Did they go back to Minshew, I think?
Oh, yeah, they had to because O'Connell got hurt. So we got Minshew Magic versus Macaulay Culkin. You got the Saints. Derek Carr's returning against the terrible Carolina Panthers defense. We have the Jacksonville Jaguars' terrible defense and terrible offense against the Eagles' shaky offense. I think that Eagles Jags game is the one that might be most vulnerable.
All right, take that one off.
All right, one more. So what we have now, we have 7 picks. Yankees to win straight up tonight. Ohio State to beat Penn State. Baltimore Ravens to beat the Broncos. Bills -6. And we have 2 overs. Over 46.5 for the Raiders and Bengals. Over 43.5 for the Saints and Panthers. And the Detroit Lions -3.5.
So we got 7 on there. There's 2 money lines on there that I think are too easy. Take one of them off. Which one do you think is least likely?
I want the one that has the least amount of juice. So that would
be
the
Ravens.
Yeah, that would be the Ravens. They're -440.
All right, so dump the Ravens.
All right, there's our 6.
Now we got 6. So we got the Yankees money line.
Ohio State money line.
OSU money line. All right, what's next?
Bills -6. We have over 46.5 for the Raiders and Bengals. We have over 43.5 for Saints Panthers. And Detroit Lions -3.5. The odds on this, the combined odds for this parlay is plus 3,612.
I dig it. You know the best part? If the Yankees money line doesn't hit, run it back as a 5-teamer.
That's right. That's how you hedge. Hedge master.
That's it, man. All right. Well, where are we gonna see you at next, Pay?
So today's Wednesday, our usual Wednesday NFC North roundtable was rescheduled for tomorrow. You will see me on the Bleachers to Speakers podcast, same name for the YouTube channel, live tomorrow afternoon. Well, tomorrow evening rather, 5 p.m. Central. There we'll be talking. We'll be talking NFC North football, Bears, Packers, Vikings, and Lions. Always a good time with my bros. After that, we have the homies also live on YouTube on Fridays, and we'll sprinkle in a little Bears talk at the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. That'll also be populated every day on YouTube and everywhere else you get your podcast fix.
All right, if you're live on YouTube or watch this on YouTube, we go live on YouTube every Wednesday around 6:35 Eastern time. I follow that up 15 minutes from now, running through the jungle. We also had a little snafu with our recap, our roaring reactions show. The snafu went as follows. None of our schedules worked out, and I was celebrating with Jess's family for her birthday and did not actually get to watch the Bengals game. Had to watch it on replay, which is excruciating when you already know what happened, and it's not good. So we'll talk about that a little bit here. If you're more of a Spotify, listen, I'm a Spotify guy myself, so if you listen to us on Spotify, Google, whatever, on the Running Through the Jungle channel, I'm very, very cautious and organized as far as getting these out. Running Through the Jungle will play on your drive time at 5 a.m. in the morning. I schedule it every week on Thursday at 5 a.m. And then on your drive home, you've got PayDirt Thursday at 3 p.m. That way you can get your bets in before that Thursday night game. So the money line on the Yankees, you may already missed it. You might have to leave one of those other games in there if you want to do the 6. But listen, the pick 6 doesn't mean you got to put a 16 parlay in. Pick your best legs. Take the ones that you were already thinking about that we also like. Pair those together, however you want to do it. It's about finding that good value, about finding some bets that you like, going through, and hopefully you guys see how we go through these. Start minimizing where we think we're going to have losses, take risk out, and try to have fun. 58% right now on the year. That's professional gambling, right? That's a professional gambling number right there, plain and simple. So check us out. And then on Friday night, check out the homies again. I will not be there. Maybe there for overtime. We'll see. I do have a dinner I got to do with some friends coming in from out of state. So I will not be there. But I might try and pop in on overtime. So until next time, next week, 6:35 Eastern time, you can once again reach PayDirt.